In today's video, I'm animating famous YouTubers in Gorilla Tag. Today is part Elliot. This is the clip we're animating.
My name is Elliot. I'm gonna sing you guys a song.
Nice.
Now the day bleeds
Hey.
So now that we know what we're gonna be animating, we can get to work. So here I started adding my assets like my J-Man Curly model and my Elliot model for a different animation I was working on. And finally, the forest map. Here I was trying out the different views that I could animate in because I found that some of them get my creative juices flowing better than others. Now that I finished adding all my models, I started moving and posing the characters to their places. I took a lot of inspiration from the video here. So here I finally start animating the characters, starting with Elliot, since he has the most screen time on screen. Which comes in handy since my mind is still fresh and I have more time to figure out how I want the animation to play out. While working on the movement, I made sure that I was on 60 frames per second so that I would get the best end result. Here I just started lighting the scene to make sure that the lighting was good and correct for both Cycles and Eevee. I didn't know which render version I wanted to use, but in the end I eventually chose Eevee because it was brighter and looked better. Here I'm just rendering out some images of the scene just to make sure that I get the right lighting for the scene because sometimes in the viewport it looks different than in the final render. Here I'm doing the layout, which is basically where you just put the camera and basically all the characters are very static and not really doing anything. I tried my best to make Elliot more expressive since I found that to be my favorite way that people animate things. Here I finally switched the camera to a short form video so then I could get the actual right camera angles that I wanted. Yeah, so here I'm just placing all the camera angles. I was also in a call with Nico at the time, and he told me my mic was too loud, so yeah. Also, I really tried to make my life as easy as possible by adding keyframes in between when his fingers close, so that I won't have to come back and fix it later, which ends up saving me a whole bunch of time. So here I finally put him in his first pose for when he starts singing, and now I'm starting to animate him singing. Here I'm trying to make sure that the movement is as smooth as possible. Accidentally his body was too high up and I forgot to keyframe him sitting down, so I had to fix that. Here I made him step back for when he points his head up, just for like some more, like to make it more realistic. You see here how I was really trying to exaggerate those poses. And Nico left the call, so I was just stuck there by myself and I had no idea, so I eventually left. This part is just a massive chunk of me animating, so I'm gonna put some Subway Surfers there if you get bored. So here I was on a call with my friend Chaos VR and his friends. He was showing me his new thumbnail he got. I was also checking if I got AAC because I really hope for that. I've been looking at my Gmail like every day for the past like month. Here I'm just replaying and then back in Discord talking to them. I was watching him edit for some reason. I got bored and got distracted. Then I watched the entirety of Daryl the Dumb's video for some reason. Then I watched them scroll YouTuber and then I watched Chaos edit again. I don't know what I was doing. Okay, now we're back to animating. Yeah, with the finger thing I was showing you, I added the extra keyframes so that I won't have to go back and do that. Here I think I'm just like posing the character. Eventually I'm gonna start actually like doing the mouth and the eyes and stuff. In total, this is around like, this took an entire day. So it was around like 12 hours of animating. No, it was 7 to 8 hours of animating. So yeah, it was pretty long. Here I'm rewatching it, making sure everything is good. Here I was doing like the one where he says, but then he pulled the rug. So I made him like pretend to pull a rug with his hand. There's a whole bunch of things that I add to the animation that a lot of people miss, but now I'm telling you in the video, so yay. Here I was just doing finishing up the last part of the animation, which is really good. I'm happy I got it finally finished, and then I just watch it like over and over and over again. Then here I finally start working on the mouth. It was so very laggy to do anything, so I turned off everything else. For some reason I turned on lighting. I have no idea what I was doing here, but eventually I have to turn off the forest map because it was so laggy. There's also some weird noise in the background with the map I was using, so I had to fix that. I had a lot of trouble with the mouth like glitching out and going to the highest point, like in the controller. But even though I did that, I could still finish doing the mouth. Here I was just figuring out different views I could do that I could still see the mouth, and I eventually resorted to turning off the forest map because it was way too laggy. Then I watched it a few times, and now I'm working on the eyes. Making sure that he blinks so that his eyes won't be dry. And now working on Jimmy and Curly. He literally only says one thing in the entire video, so I just did a little eye movement and stuff and made him look at him in the background. Also made him happy because they're all happy here. This was a very fun video that Jimmy and Curly made. Here I'm doing the leaderboard, adding all the players to make it look like the lobby is not empty, even though it is. And I'm too lazy to add the other characters. Okay, now finally that we finished the animation, we are going on to rendering, so here's a time lapse of the rendering taking place. And after that excruciatingly long wait, here's the final animation.
My name is Elliot. I'm gonna sing you guys a song.
Nice.
Another day waits and
Hey.
and not here to get me through it all.
Damn.
Got down and you pull the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
And the last thing I have to say is...
Bye-bye.